Say, sis, D, your boyfriend, he want me to go out with him tonight. I know he's cool, but I ain't never really kicked it with him like that. It's straight to go out with, right? Ain't gonna be no problem. No, I get it. I know he's cool. I know everything's everything, but you know how I am, man. I kind of just stick with my own clique or whatever. But yeah, we gonna go out. We gonna kick it, man. It's all good. I just want to make sure it's all good. Man, bro, they need to hurry up and get this downtown situated, fixed or whatever. This truck driving all close to us. Now you hit the. Why you slap that dude's truck like that, bro? Why'd you hit his truck? Come on, bro. Just get up off of him, man. Y'all done whooped him, man. You know what I'm saying? He's in the dead wrong. He shouldn't have hit your truck, man. It's too many of y'all. Come on, bro. Just leave him alone, man. It's over, man. It's over. Man, they done busted me in my mouth. It's 3 or 4 of them. I'm definitely going to get my get back. Oh, ho, ho. What do we have here? Okay, now the numbers is even. Okay, what's up, man? Jump us now. What you want to do? Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kens TV, and the house like motherfucking kitchen sinks. You know, coming up, I often heard the term, the phrase, what comes around goes around. You reap what you sow. Treat people the way that you want to be treated. And as life further developed for me, if you will, those things always stuck out in my mind. I always remember my mother and my grandmother saying those things. Now, before I get into today's story, if you will, just understand that I'm the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 Minutes or Better, meaning that all my videos are guaranteed to be 30 minutes or better. So if you're on your way to work, you're at work, you don't feel like being there, your boss is getting on your nerves, co-workers getting on your nerves, you're on your way from work, you're trying to lay down and take a nap. Perhaps you're trying to go to sleep at night, depending on when you hear or listen to this video. You need to laugh, you need to cry. Or perhaps you're just in the mood for a good old-fashioned, true penitentiary street story. Then this is the channel for you. Now, with all that being said, there's a message. Now, as I mentioned, you know, I came up hearing that, you know, consistently. Comes around, goes around. So one evening, actually started out in the afternoon or what have you. You know, I'm at my sister's house. And, you know, her boyfriend's over. Her boyfriend, D. And so he wants to go out. I'm not really too much trying to go out. But he's wanting to go out. You know, he keeps asking me or what have you. So I finally say, you know what, I'll go ahead and go out with you, man. You know what I'm saying? I kick it with you. Now, D was cool. Don't get me wrong, D was cool. I had just never really kicked it with D like that before, other than, you know, when I was at my sister's house, because initially I was at my sister's house, I was on house arrest. Long story, but I'll give you a brief, I'll paint the picture for you real briefly. We got 30 minutes or more. I ended up going to the county jail for something minor, and, you know, the judge gives me 90 days or what have you. So I let I let one of my partners stay at my house, my crib. He had my car. He's at my house. It was a place I was renting. And to make a long story short, when I come back home, my car's in the impound, and it's like $800-900 to get out. He had gotten pulled over with no license. So being that he didn't have a license, they took him to jail and impounded my vehicle. Well, the car obviously was in my name, so he could never get it out of the impound. He didn't pay the rent. All my stuff was set outside. All of my stuff. And so when I ended up getting out of jail, the judge, she blessed me. I didn't even have to do the full 90 days. I ended up doing like 50 days. I come home to absolutely nothing. I didn't even know that it had happened. I'm looking to go to my crib, and come to find out, when I get over there, I don't even have a crib at this point. And so I go and stay, you know, with my sister or what have you. The judge ended up giving me house arrest. So I ended up staying over my sister's house or whatever while I was on house arrest. And so that's how D and I became, you know, acquainted. Better acquainted. And so I went ahead, I had agreed to go out because at this point, I was still on house arrest, but I didn't have an ankle monitor on. So the only thing, they had like a telephone system, and you would call in and it would verify your voice. Well, my last call in was like 10:30 at night. So I thought I was slick back then. So I tell the people, I say, listen, I go to bed early. 10:30, man, I'm struggling to stay up, you know, to call in at 10:30. So they moved my last call in time to like 9:30. So I would just chill until about 10:30, make sure the coast is clear. And I'm gone. I'm off to the club. I'm finger popping, and I'm in the club, man, just just having a good old time. I'm doing the most. And so, I end up going out, and first time I ever went out with this dude. So we at the spot or whatever. It's cool, but it's nothing like going out with your homies that you came up with, your people that you genuinely love and close to. But I'm gonna make the best out of any situation. So we in the club, we kicking it, whatever. But the club's not really jumping, so it's like, here, let's go to another spot. It's like, cool. Now we in downtown Lexington. It's like, okay, it's cool. We go to another spot. There's several other clubs, parties going on that night. So we're leaving the club and we're walking, and it's like we're walking alongside of the road. I don't know why we weren't actually on the sidewalk. To this day, I can't remember why we weren't on the sidewalk. Perhaps they were doing some sort of construction or something like that. That's the only thing I can think of as far as why we would be walking in the road. But we were like close to the curb. Pause. And so a black suburban truck drives past us. Now, when he drives past us, he gets relatively close to us, I will admit. He got rather close to us, but at the same time, I would say that we were more so in the wrong than he was because, again, we were walking in the road. The truck goes past us, and before he fully gets past us, D takes his hand, boom, slaps the back of the truck. It's a nice suburban truck. I mean, what Suburbans are not nice? So the truck continues to drive, and he's going at a really, really low speed. I'm talking about when he drives past us, maybe 3 miles an hour, 4 miles an hour. Like, he's not going remotely fast whatsoever. He gets past us 7, 8 feet. It was probably a little further than that, maybe about 10, 12 feet. We see the brake lights cut on. I see the brake lights cut on. D's not thinking anything of it. Now, when he did that, I'm like, bro, why did you do that? He was like, man, he almost hit me. I'm like, dog, you shouldn't have done that, man. Brake lights cut on. Brake lights cut on. You just see 4 doors just open at the same time, it seems. All 4 doors open at the same time. Driver gets out. Passenger gets out. Then it's another dude in the back seat with 2 females. They all get out. They start walking towards us. As I mentioned, they were a good 10, 12, 15 feet, in between us. Now, the driver, he seen D hit his truck. He knew exactly who hit his truck. What you hit my truck for, dog? So D was like, man, because you almost hit me. He was like, man, you was walking in the road. Now, they walking towards us. Now, it's like we had stopped. So they're walking towards us, but they're walking relatively slow. Y'all was the ones out in the street, man. So they kind of going back and forth or whatever. But it really wasn't too much more said after that. He walks up on D. D just kind of standing there. The driver just takes off on him. Boom! Hits D. When he hits D, catches him in his mouth. Instantly busts his mouth. Now, when he hit him, D goes backwards because, as I mentioned, we were right there by the curb. So when he goes backwards, he trips and falls on his back. But it wasn't due to the punch or solely due to the punch. It was because basically he tripped over the curb. Driver jumps on top of him. He's talking to him. Boom, boom. He's drilling him. You ever hit my truck? He's drilling. And I'm sitting right there. I'm kind of like, wow. I don't really know what to do. The passenger that I mentioned, one of the dudes that gets out of the truck or what have you, because initially it was 3 dudes that got out of the truck. So the passenger that was in the front seat, he jumps on D. So now there's 2 of them. They jumping him. Then the 3rd dude, he jumps in. Never said a word to me. I'm like, man, what have I gotten myself into? So I jump in. But I don't come in just throwing. I jump, hey, come on, y'all. Y'all chill out, man. He had enough, man. Yo, he good, man. He good, man. He was wrong, man. We was wrong, dog. You know what I'm saying? You know it's too many of y'all. So it was like they was kind of feeling me. You know what I'm saying? Like the driver, like I didn't know him. He didn't know me, but we've seen each other before, just in passing. D's not originally from Lexington. He's not even originally from Kentucky. He's from Baltimore. He had just moved down here and, as a youngster and just ended up staying here. And so the dudes was kind of, they was kind of feeling me or whatever. So they like backed up or whatever. So I'm trying to help D up. And as I'm trying to help D up, I guess something clicked in one of the dudes' head. And he was like, nah, you was with him, you can get it too. So he swings on me. When he swings on me, he catches me. But he don't get a good punch in, but he catches me. You know? It's kind of like he just barely even tapped me. Because I seen him and I moved. And so that's how he got his little punch off. So at this point, D's on his feet. I'm like, oh, no. That's one thing I cannot stand is somebody to put their hands on me. You can say whatever you want to say. Look at me however you want to look. Just don't put your hands on me, man. That's just a no-no. You don't put your hands on anybody. So next thing I know, me and dude, we fighting. Me and him. First it's just me and him. The driver, I'm watching the driver. He just kind of standing there. I'm getting out on the dude. So as we're fighting, I look up. D's gone. D takes off running. Literally takes off running. Here I am fighting over something that he did. He's gone. So I'm looking away, but I'm watching this dude. Then another dude jumps in, and I'm like, oh, man. So now I'm fighting two dudes. So then the girl, she's running her mouth the whole time. It was two females, as I mentioned earlier. One of the females, she was just running her mouth. She was just running it. See, there's so many dudes in the penitentiary right now over women because women instigate stuff, and I'm not saying all women. So let's get that understood. I'm not saying all women, but you do have women that instigate something or something that happened. They'll be in the wrong and they'll go get their brother. They'll go get their boyfriend or you know, their stepfather or their father, what have you. And then the dude comes back, whoever they go get, they come back and handle the business. The next thing you know, we in penitentiary for 40, 50 years, something that he didn't even have anything to do with. Shouldn't even have been involved in. So she's running her mouth. She's instigating it. She runs over towards me. When she runs over towards me, I'm still fighting the other two dudes. She hits me. Obviously, it don't hurt, but still, she hits me. So now she hits me. I'm looking at her. I really won't just take off on her, but I don't hit women. But in this circumstance, under these, circumstances or what have you, I would have been perfectly within my right. All the while, I'm still keeping an eye on this driver because I know that any given time he can jump in. I'm already fighting two dudes. Now I'm fighting three people. Two dudes and the female I was telling you about. What's the old saying? A good run beats a bad stand any day. Boom, I'm gone. I take off. Yeah, I took off. I didn't want to. I hung in there as long as I could. But I feel as though it was a business decision, and it was in my best interest to take off. So I'm gone now. They don't really chase. They chase me for a little bit, but then I'm gone. I guess they jump back in the truck or whatever, and I'm looking for D, because now really I'm pissed. I am pissed. I don't know where D's at, so I'm looking around. I don't see him. I said I'm gonna walk back to the car. The car was quite a distance. It wasn't really that far away, but it was a little bit of a distance. By the time I ran, I had to come all the way back. Now I have to worry about if I'm gonna run into these people again. I'm down there. I don't got none of my homeboys with me, none of my people, none of that. So I'm just, I'm solo dolo at this point. I turned the corner, and when I turned the corner, there was this alley. It was like literally an alley. And you got two clubs on each side of the alley. People would hang out in the alley. It was large enough to where, like, you could park a couple cars back there and people would, kind of just chill out on their cars. And it was just a spot, play their music, and it was just like a chill spot. So as I mentioned, when I turned the corner, I'm instantly in the alley. I see the people, all of them. They standing like, okay, imagine when you make a left-hand turn and you looking straight ahead. I see them probably, they had to have been maybe 50 or 60 feet away. And they're just standing there, posted up. I see them, they see me. Now, when I look to my right, I see D. When I see D standing over there, and he's standing with about 3 or 4 other dudes. Now, one of the dudes was his best friend, and I remember him because he would come to the house sometimes along with D. So I just naturally assumed that everybody else, I thought that they were all together. So I'm like, oh, plus I'm mad. I'm mad, man. They didn't, I think my shirt had a little blood on it or whatever. Oh, okay. Yeah, what's up now? It's what I say to the people that, we were fighting. What's up now? You try to jump us? You try to gang us earlier? What's happening now? So when I say that, the driver never did anything to me initially. He starts walking towards me. I'm walking towards him. Everybody's in the alley. I'm talking about everybody's watching. It was like on Street Fighter or something, or a good old street movie. You know what I'm saying? A street brawl, whatever. Or prior to a street brawl taking place, everybody's just anticipating and watching and ooh, ah, So I'm walking towards him. He's walking towards me. Dude done took his shirt off or whatever. For some reason, I didn't take my shirt off. I don't know why, but I didn't take my shirt off. So we get close enough to each other, we just start banging right there in the middle of the alley. I'm talking about we going at it, man. He's not getting the best of me. I'm not getting the best of him. We was just fighting. You could just tell, like, it was just in the air. Everybody was just looking and watching, and it was just like, ooh. And so, as I'm fighting him, a couple of his partners came over there, the ones from earlier, they jump in. So as they started walking towards me, I see them, so I'm looking in my peripheral, and I'm trying to see, okay, even though D had ran initially, I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe he just ran to go get his partners or whatever. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I noticed that I'm fighting 3 people again. D never came to save the day, never jumped in, none of his partners, none of that. They get the best of me. They end up getting me on the ground. So they kicking me or whatever. One of the little females, she came over, she's kicking me. Only thing that saved me, it's the only thing that saved me. The police came. The police came, they seen what was going on or whatever. Obviously, once everybody seen the police, they started to scatter, run or whatever. Well, they grabbed the driver. They seen him. Once they grabbed the driver, they put him in cuffs. And I think they grabbed one of the other dudes or whatever. So they got him in cuffs, and man, they asking me what's going on. I'm not even really hurt for real. I just ended up falling on the ground. I'm not hurt. I'm still good. Couple little bruises, scrapes, nothing major. So, they asking me what's going on. I'm like, officer, I don't know, man. I don't even know these dudes, man. They're asking me, do I want to press charges? Nah, it ain't really no big deal, whatever. But evidently, the driver had a warrant out for him. So, as they're taking him away in cuffs, D's around the corner. He had went back around the corner because, like I said, when the police came, everybody kind of scattered. So he's like, man, you all right, man? We was going to jump in, man. So now I'm really going to just take off on D. But the police is right there. Now D going to see the dude that they're walking away, getting ready to put in the control, in the car. He's like, yeah, that's what you get. Take his ass to jail. Because I'm from Baltimore. You don't mess with me. You don't play with me. You heard me? I'm from Baltimore. Shout out to Baltimore. You know what I mean? Place I never been, but I do plan to visit real soon. So, he's talking all that stuff or whatever. So I'm like, dang, bro. You just twice tonight, I done got into a fight with the same people, and you didn't help me not one time. Dog, I just looked like you was just handling it yourself, man. And I'm like, dog, what about all these dudes that was... Man, I ain't really even know them like that. That was my one partner, but he couldn't get in no trouble. I forgot he was on probation. It was something, the other partner. That's the reason. Let him tell that's the reason that he didn't jump in. So I'm going to whoop him, man. Nah, we got to get down. Me and you got to get shoot. I done already fought twice. We got to get down. Nah, man, bro, it ain't even like it. We like family, man. So anyway, I end up just not doing anything to him. A few months goes past. I say about 4 or 5 months goes past, if that long. I come over to my sister's house. When I get over to my sister's house, I'm knocking on the door. Boom, 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 boom. I'm just knocking normal. Nobody comes to the door. Well, at this point, I'm no longer on house arrest, and I had a key to the house. So I was like, man, I went on inside the house. She knew I still had the key. She told me to keep it. I go inside the house. I hear all this screaming and yelling and commotions. I'm like, what is going on? So I walk back towards the room where I heard it. I try to go in the room. The door's locked. Get out for me. Get out for me. That's all I heard. Get out. Get out for me. I told you, get out. Leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered with you. Sis, you all right? I'm knocking on the door. He won't get out for me. I'm like, who? D. He won't get out for me. I can't get in the door. Open the door. Now, I'm over at her house with one of my partners. My partner, Ja. Open the door. They don't want to open the door. Boom, I bust into the room. He's on top of her. He got her arms, held down to where she's pinned back on the bed like this, and that's why she's fighting, trying to get loose. He's trying to talk to her. Like, he didn't physically assault her as far as like punching her or anything like that. She's trying to get him to leave. She wants to leave the relationship. He's trying to talk her into not leaving. It was one of those type of situations, which is still not good. It's the opportunity I've been waiting on anyway. Boom, I'm just immediately just socking. I'm talking about immediately. I just sock him. Ain't no talking. So he falls over the bed. I jump on top of him, hit him a couple times. Boom, boom. Nah, I don't even want it like this. Let's get outside. I want the fur one. I don't want you to be like, I caught you off guard. You didn't know. I want the fur one. I want you outside, big boy. So, my sister, she's trying to break it up. She's telling us to stop, leave it alone. So dude obviously don't want none. I go outside. Well, I make sure that he leaves the house first. Like I said, me and my partner, Ja, we make sure that he leaves the house. We get outside. Dude don't want nothing, man. So Ja, he's more of a calm type individual. I am too, but back then I was a little bit more hot-headed. We get outside. As I mentioned, he don't want to fight or whatever. So he gets in the car. He drives off or whatever. I don't see dude. I don't see him for a long time after that. See, my sister, once she's done with you, she's done with you. She's not one of those type that, something happens, she's going to end up taking you back. Nothing serious like that, significant like that. I think he had cheated on her or something like that, and then he had like a real bad temper or what have you. So she was just tired of it. So I don't end up seeing dude for a long time. I go to prison. I go to prison a couple years later. Of course, I messed up my probation. So when they send me to prison, they send me behind the fence. When they send me, actually, I'm getting too far ahead of myself. So let's rewind. Prior to me going to prison, D goes downtown and takes out a warrant out on me. 4th degree assault. He said that I, along with my partner Ja, that's the only name that he knew him by, Ja, jumped him and beat him up. Just off his word, police come and arrest me. I'm driving one day, I get pulled over. You have a warrant out for your arrest? Me? Moi? For what? What could I possibly have a warrant out for my arrest? 4th degree assault. Do you know D? I forget his last name. They said his last name. Like, yeah, I know him. Well, he's taking out a warrant for, your arrest, 4th degree assault. They arrest me. They take me to jail, into custody, tow my car, all of that stuff. Oh, man, I'm heated. This is on a Friday. Bond is $3,000. Kentucky, there's no bail bondsman. And if your bond is what it is, it's up to the judge to give you a 10% reduction or allow you to relieve on your own, be released on your own recognizance. I didn't see the judge until Monday. So I sit in the jail the entire weekend. I didn't have $3,000. I sit in jail the whole weekend. I'm heated. I'm thinking to myself, when I see him, and I'm going to get him again. This time, I'm going to do him bad. So, the court proceedings, they go on or what have you, and they're trying to get me to take a plea deal. I'm not taking a plea deal. I'm not taking anything. It got to the point to where they just said, listen, if you'll just plead guilty today, we'll give you time served for the 4 or 5 days that you ended up doing. I think I ended up doing like 4, 5, 6 days, something like that, before I was actually released out on bond. Nah, I'm not taking nothing because this is not an assault charge. So D didn't come to court. He filed the charges, but he never came to court. So they ended up having a trial date. The Commonwealth picked it up, of course, as they always do. And they had a trial date. And they seen that I wasn't going to plead guilty. So ultimately, the 4th degree assault charge was dismissed. So as I mentioned, a couple years later, I'm in prison. They sent me behind the walls. I forget why I got sent behind the walls, because I wasn't in there for nothing but some white collar type crime. But something with my paperwork, I don't know. I was behind the walls. Lions, tigers, goons, birds, gorillas. So I do my time. I end up doing like a little bit over a year behind the walls. Then they move me to a camp. I do a little time at the camp. They move me to another camp. So at this point, I'm getting close to going up for parole. When I get to the camp, lo and behold, who do I see? D. I didn't even know D got in trouble. So when I seen that he was in prison, it was just like, whoa, what is he doing here? I didn't even know this dude got in trouble. So D notices me, sees me. He tries to smooth everything out like it's all good. Because he notices that, like, a lot of people, I'm not saying that I was like the man or nothing like that in prison, because it was not the case whatsoever. But I'm from Lexington, Kentucky. It's very, very, it's a small, it's a small town. It's a small hood, and it's all good. And Mr. Rogers ain't got up on my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those type of neighborhoods, close knit. Now, D knows a lot of people, but he's more so cool with the white boys. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Matter of fact, that's probably who I would kick it with anyway. Just to be honest, man. You know what I'm saying? So he was cool with all the white dudes, you know what I'm saying? But he didn't really kick it with the, with the black dudes too much. Me, they, once I hit the yard or whatever, I knew a lot of the black dudes. And, it was just one of those things. I got along with everybody. So he tried to smooth things out. Look, bro, it was a long time ago, man. And I'm like, bro, you filed charges on me, man. That's ratting, man. You know what I'm saying? Even though you didn't come to court, that's you never should have filed no charges on me whatsoever. Now, only thing you got to do is have somebody go downtown, get the paperwork, then boom. Easy. It's open record. Nah, bro, it ain't nothing like it. Check this out, man. I'm about some money, man. I'm the man in here, man. I get that bag every week. Man. I'm going to break you off, dog. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, let bygones be bygones. I'm going to break you off every week. What you mean you got the bag? What you got going on? You got that Spig, that Spice I was telling you about, that K2, whatever it's called in your hometown or from your area, you all know what I mean, that Spice, that Spig. He's like, dog, I'm making a killing, man. Some people drop it off every single week. Dang, how they do that? So now he's caught my attention. How they do that? He was like, man, my people make the drop. It was a big old field. I'm talking about the field was probably I want to say that field was probably at least a mile. And it was a highway. So you could get off on the highway, whatever you got, throw it over the fence. Then you get you what's called a runner. Somebody that's real fast, you break him off, he gonna run to that fence, to the fence line where it's at. He gonna get it, then he gonna run back. Takes about 13, 14 minutes. Every Saturday, the dorm that we worked in, the dorm we was in, it was the closest dorm to the highway. It was the last dorm on the yard. You got to understand, if you've never been to prison, the prison yards really resemble like a college campus, if you will. So there's different dorms, but they're in different parts of the yard. This dorm was the edge of the earth, the end of the earth. That's what they called it. Because again, it was the last dorm on the yard. It was 5 different dorms on the yard, but it was separate from every other dorm. Dude would run to the fence, grab that bag, he'd come back. He already got pretty much, he already has his clientele. It's already sold pretty much. Now, back then, it was no cash out. Everything was done through green dot cards. Now, if you wanted something small, okay, here, give me $15 out of commissary. Give me $20 out of commissary. But you got to imagine, Spice looks just like Spice. So if you take a can of seasoning, or a container of seasoning, if you will, this is what Spig looks like. Now, imagine how much seasoning is in here. It's a lot. This is 2.25 ounces. A cap full, like a chapstick caps, a top full goes for $100 in prison. So you take that spice and you pack it in that top of the chapstick, and that's $100. Then he had the green, he had the weed, and he also had like the Suboxone, the strips. He's making an absolute killing. I'm talking about he had a green dot card. So if you wanted like $50 worth or $100 worth or whatever, you have your people or whatever deposit the money onto the green dot card, and you get on the phone, talking code. Then there's cell phones too. So dudes had cell phones. Yeah, such and such. Yeah, he's good. Money's on there. Cool. You give him the product. He made so much money that it was just, I couldn't turn it down. So he's breaking me off every week. I ain't have to do nothing. I got a green dot card or whatever. So basically, once he gave me a certain amount, I would take that. And I had a couple people that, they were interested in or whatever, because again, he wasn't really dealing with the black dudes like this. So much to where they robbed him a couple times. You know, they found out where his little stash spot was at or whatever. So they would rob him, you know, just a couple times or whatever. Because they wasn't really feeling that, like, man, our money can't spend, you don't want food with us. But he already had the people he dealt with. He already had a system. It was dealing with the white boys, not to say the black dudes don't pay, because I'm not saying that whatsoever. I'm just saying he felt as though dealing with these people that I already know, I ain't never had no issues. I never had no problems with payment, none of that. I only get so much, and what I get, they pretty much buy it all up. So what am I supposed to do? So we eat. I'm not kicking it with him every day or nothing like that or whatever, but we eat nice. Well, word got out that he was that guy. He was the man. Now, he knew that the word had gotten out, and so he never kept it on him. He had found a nice little spot that nobody knew about but me. Now, he tells me about this spot because he says, hey, man, if I ever get locked up, if you know, anything ever happens or whatever, I trust you. This is where it's at. At the poker table one day, lo and behold, about 4 or 5 officers walk in. They come up to him, stand up, pat him down, make sure he don't got nothing on him or whatever, cuff him, take him to security. They take him to security. He's in the hole for probably like 3 or 4 days. He's in the hole. It's like, shoot, man, I know what his action's at. I'm thinking he's gone, because even if they don't catch you with anything, they can do what's called an administrative transfer on you. And basically that's just saying, we know that you're doing something. We feel as though you're doing something, but we just haven't been able to catch you. So we're just going to put an administrative transfer in and send you to another facility. Everybody thought that that's what they were going to do. I get to the spot. Nobody knew where this spot was at. I get to the spot. I grab the whole wop. I give it to my homie. My homie was more so into it than I was, because like the whole, my thing was I was trying to get home, but I want to get some money too. Don't get me wrong. I want to get some money too. My homie, he would have his girl bring it from time to time on visit, just small amounts. He'd smoke a little bit and sell, you know, he would sell some of it, making, you know, $100 a week, something like that. But he never really was into it like that. And she didn't really feel comfortable doing it. And so he kind of, it was hit and miss with him. Oh, man, it was on. Once I got it, I told him, I said, look, bro, you ain't even got to give me half. Just break me off. You know, just we negotiated or whatever. I don't know what he made, but I know that I ended up with about $8,000. $8,000. Again, you got the strips, you got the weed, and you got the spice, the spig. A cap full of chapstick, you know, a chapstick top goes for $100. You paying little or nothing out on the streets for that. You barely paying anything. It's almost all profit. I had about 8 G's on my account, so I can't even imagine what the homie made. Dude ends up getting out of the hole. And another great thing, it goes fast. I'm talking about fast. It's gone. He gets out of the hole. He goes to the spot. It's gone. He asked me, man, you was the only one, man, that knew about my spot. Man, where's my... Man, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Bro, you was the only one. I ain't never had no trouble with this. Bro, I already told you, dog. I don't know what you're talking about. What you want to do, man? See, I still ain't forgot about that incident that happened, you know, years prior. What you want to do then? Since you accusing me, so you want to get out? Nah, it ain't nothing like that, man. I'm just saying, I thought, man, you was better than that, man. Man, I already told you, man. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Now, he clearly sees that a person that I'm affiliated with, that I'm cool with, is doing his thing. Even though it's low-key, he knows he's put 2 and 2 together. 1 and 1 together, really. Okay, you done showed him where the spot was, or you done went to the spot and gave it to him. He don't see me with anything. He knows I don't indulge. I don't smoke or anything. So, but he sees my partner doing his thing. My partner's running it up. I'm talking about he's absolutely running it up. And I would say it was about 2 weeks later. About 2 weeks later, they came and got him again and transferred him to another facility. They sent him to Bell County. Bell County, a forestry camp. That's where they fight fires. It's probably like 3.5 hours away from Lexington. Way up in the sticks. Heard it was a nice little, you know, camp or whatever, but it's just far. And they sent him to Bell County. And so I never seen him again in the system. And what made me really think about this story is that I say about a month ago, I ran into D. I didn't know what it was going to be when I ran into him. This is years later. I hadn't seen him in all this time. And D is heavily in the church now. I believe he's doing some preaching. He just had a set of twins, and because he had never had kids. And he's in his 40s at this point, and he seems to be doing just fine. You know, we talked, he apologized. He remembered he apologized, man. I was like, yeah, man, it was a long time ago, man. You know, I was wrong. You know, you was wrong. We were both wrong or whatever. And, you know, we sit there and we talk, you know, not long, maybe about 5-10 minutes or so. And then we just went our separate ways, man. You know? And that's just one of those situations to where, like I said, my mom always told me, man, you know, you reap what you sow. Comes around, goes around. That was a situation where he kind of left me for dead out there. Anything could have happened to me. Them dudes could have unalived me over something that he did. He did that. I didn't hit that dude's truck. I didn't have anything to do with that. But yet, here I was, seemingly fighting for my life. 2 separate occasions. And the second time, I guess it was kind of more so self-inflicted. I jumped the gun. You know, I seen him standing with the dudes, and I just automatically thought that it was on. So, you know, I guess that second time was kind of my fault. You know, I take responsibility for that. But that first time, I didn't have anything to do with that. I could have just walked off. I ain't really know you like that. So I felt justified in doing what I did as far as, you know, taking his action, pause. Taking his stuff, going to his hiding spot and giving it to the homie. But at the same time, when I really, really think about it, the mature me, I was wrong for that. 2 wrongs don't make it right. I shouldn't have done that. Regardless of what he did to me or, you know, didn't help me or told on me or what have you, I shouldn't have done that. That wasn't the right thing to do. You know. But it's just one of those things, man. You know, people don't forget. Some people have elephant memories. They do not forget. And that's the danger of I guess the message is, that's the danger of even getting involved in the streets or anything that's illegal or anything that's not on the up and up. Because you can't just go and do this and do that, and you done robbed 15 people and you done shot at 2 or 3 people, and then you say, you know what, man, I done turned my life around, man. I'm in the church now. I don't do these things any longer. Well, you can't undo what's already done. So even though you're not dealing with that anymore, people still remember, like, okay, that's cool, you in church and everything, but you got to pay the Pied Piper, because I remember you was blasting at me 6 years ago. So you're never really truly out of it. That's just the way that it goes in them streets, man. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, you're amongst the first to receive. And that's how it was sounding when they was on top of me, and it was 3 or 4 of them. They kicking me, and it's the way the ball bounces sometimes. Real Kens TV.